conditioning. Our friends Vince Goodwill and Michael C. Wright, who have been covering these two teams, the San Antonio Spurs, here for us all season long, as well as Vince with the New York Knicks. Michael C. Wright, I want to start with you here because Victor said something interesting to me yesterday. He said, in a good way, being honest, I really appreciate when he's honest, but he said he's still feeling sort of the after effects, and he's still on this high from winning the Western Conference Finals. So how do they refocus? What's their mindset going into this game one?
Well, you know, after that emotional Game 7, they were trying to come down and just relax, get their minds off the game. So Victor hosted a screening of the movie Obsession. Now, I don't know how that calms you down because I'm told it's a very disturbing movie, but hosted a screening with his teammates and everything. And so, you know, just something to relax. But Victor has been pretty much locked in ever since Game 5. If you remember, after Game 5 of the Western Conference Finals, when they lost and Vic didn't have the greatest performance, well, he didn't talk to the media afterwards. And I'm told that that was sort of a mechanism to internally motivate himself. And if you noticed, ever since then, he's been really locked in. He's been short with the media. It's like 3-4 word answers. So maybe that's the thing that gets him locked in for Game 1 because he's going to definitely need that focus tonight against these New York Knicks.
Yeah, I can only speak for myself there, Michael, but watching a horror movie to relax, that is my idea of like sitting on nails to get a massage. So whatever works for Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. But on the other side of this, Vince, we make so much of how young the Spurs are. But really, the New York Knicks players, they haven't been here before either. How is Jalen Brunson approaching this series and the defenses that he's expecting to see?
Malika, he's approaching it like a captain, like a leader. He's one of those guys that says, hey, we need more time in the gym. He pointed back to that second round series of Eastern Conference Final Series against the Cleveland Cavaliers where they fell behind by 20 in the fourth quarter before that comeback and sent the game into overtime. He said, we can't afford to have that type of letdown, that type of rust in this series. And Malika, here's the other thing. Stephon Castle is going to be in his shirt this series. You think about all the players Steph Castle has guarded, from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, even Denny Avdia. That is going to be a mano-a-mano matchup this series. Jalen Brunson said he's got the utmost respect for him. Steph Castle says, hey, I've got to be physical with him. He's going to be physical with me. It's rare that you get one of these mano-a-mano matchups, Malika, but I think we're going to see a lot of it in Game 1 tonight.
When you mentioned Steph Castle's name, the crowd behind me showed their enthusiasm and appreciation for the defense, Vinny, that we have seen from him this postseason long. I know really you got to get back out there to dance practice. We're going to go let you show your loyalty and your DNA. We appreciate the insight there.
I want to see Vinny dance.
You got to sit here outside of the Alamo in San Antonio. Our senior insider, or should I say Double O Shams over here, is joining us. Shams has all the insight for us here ahead of Game 1. And Perk, I think one of the biggest questions that you and I have been talking about is the health of Mitchell Robinson. We know he has that pinky injury. Are we going to see him here in Game 1?
Malika, sources tell me that Mitchell Robinson is fully expected to play in Game 1 tonight against the San Antonio Spurs. He will be a go, and he was a full participant at practice on Tuesday for the Knicks, and that right hand there's going to be wrapping around it. There's going to be some level of bracing for that injury. He suffered essentially a hand fracture, a fracture to that pinky area. He's the third most frequent defender on Victor Wembanyama when the Spurs and Knicks played against each other during the regular season, behind Karl-Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby. So how effective he can play on that right hand will be very key for the Knicks.
Yeah, I saw him walking out of practice. He was all smiles, said hello, but he did have a huge ice wrap on that hand, Brian. But you've been tracking some interesting numbers, because ultimately what this comes down to is defending Victor Wembanyama. How will Mitchell Robinson's hand injury
Well, when you say I've been tracking, you mean our stats man, Stats Williams,
yes.
has been tracking.
Great.
Even
Stats
though
Williams.
he is right-handed and he broke his right hand, he is seemingly a left-handed defender. In the playoffs, he has defended 53 shots. 42 of them have been with his left hand. So he will play left-handed on defense against Victor tonight. And that will make, now how will it affect his dunking? That's a different story. But defensively, that's where they need him. Defensive left-handed, that's going to be maybe his advantage.
To be honest, I don't even want to hear about that. Like, if you're on the floor, it's time to contribute. You know how many injuries I played through?
You have a very special credibility in a hand injury.
I do.
If we could just, I know it's important to see Victor, but Director Matt, We know that Kendrick Perkins has very, he has some serious credibility here because his left pinky finger points to the right.
It's my ring finger.
Ring finger.
That's my ring finger. This actually the right one. This the. But look, if you can see, it's a scar here. Like you got to go through. You got to be able to play through scars and wounds. Like this is the NBA Finals. It's about at some point it comes to your mental toughness. It's about your pain tolerance. You know what's gonna happen at about 75 minutes before the game? He's going to walk in the training room, and he's going to get that Totoro shot right in his hands. And it's going to be all right. And the pain is going to be gone for the next 24 hours, and you got to go out there and deliver. And it's not like the Knicks are asking him to go play 20 to 30 minutes. He's playing spot minutes off the bench, basically in case, Karl Anthony Towns may get in foul trouble or he need a breather. You want to throw as many bodies as you possibly can. My mindset, if I'm Big Mitch, I got 6 fouls.
On Victor Wembanyama. You're guarding Victor Wembanyama, Perk. Take me inside that.
I can't. I can't even set myself up for that, Malik. And look, I was known as a hell of a post defender. But when I watch him, it's me personally, I'm going into the game and my mindset is I have 6 fouls. And I'm going to foul out by the end of the game. That's not the type of physicality that I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So, Mitch, I think he won't need a shot. He'll have the adrenaline. The building will be loud enough where he'll have that adrenaline to his energy will be up. But he's one of the most important pieces in this series, especially for the Knicks side. If he's not able to play, and I think it's going to be more than just spot minutes because that big situation and that offensive rebounding power gives the Knicks an advantage. And if he can't do that, it changes the series tremendously. But obviously, the most important player in the series is OG Anunoby. And if he's able to guard and have Mitch Robinson behind him, it'll make the difference. But OG's got to be healthy. That hamstring, make sure he's good game 1, which I think he will be because he's going to have most of the bulk of the minutes on Victor Wembanyama.
We've seen OG have some success on Victor Wembanyama in the past, but not this version of Victor Wembanyama here, Brian.
Yeah, he's expanded his game dramatically. And I'll tell you one thing, when he wants to play with aggression, he can be very hard to handle. And if that's what you're going to want to see from him tonight, aggression from the opening step.
And we know that Wemby always wants to get his lick back. Yeah. We know what happened in the NBA Cup. And we know what happened the last time they played in the regular season on the afternoon in New York City. I think they got beat by about 35 or 40.
25.
Yeah. Wemby gonna want his lick back in these finals.
All right, let's take a break so we can get Perk here a towel because we
I'm sweating.